If you walk into the commercial and medical center mall in Kafr el Dawar, you expect, the standard sounds of professional life.
Right. Phones ringing, maybe some doctors giving directions, that sort of steady, low-level buzz of a busy place.
Exactly. But on this one afternoon, inside a really respected eye clinic, that sound was gone.
And the silence, it became more than just noticeable. It was alarming.
Utterly alarming. Najla Nimatullah Saeed was the clinic secretary. She was known for being diligent.
And her friends, who were other students working in the same mall, they noticed she wasn't around. The usual activity just stopped.
So they went to check on her. The door was locked, which was weird in itself.
And when they finally got inside, the scene just instantly shifted from a simple office to, well, a place of profound horror.
What they found wasn't an empty clinic. Najla's body had been discarded in the clinic bathroom.
The whole atmosphere just shattered. Screams, chaos. Doctors in the building rushed in and confirmed her death, and security locked the whole place down immediately.
The first thought, it had to be a robbery gone wrong.
Yeah.
A place with money, a violent attack.
That was the immediate assumption. But forensics, and even just the first few questions, they pushed that theory aside almost instantly.
Why? What was pointing away from a random attack?
The nature of the violence, the method, it didn't feel random. It pointed towards something infinitely more calculated, more personal.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We have a beloved, generous university student murdered at her job.
And the evidence suggests a betrayal so deep it took 5 years to actually ferment. This wasn't a stranger.
This was violence delivered by someone she had welcomed into her life, her inner circle.
Exactly. In our deep dive today, it really traces that specific mechanism of deception. It's almost a psychological case study of how this intense secret envy can be weaponized.
So we're looking at more than just the crime.
We're looking at the methodical 5-year reconnaissance mission that came before it. It targeted everything about Najla's life, her money, her reputation, and her profound trust.
It raises a pretty important question for all of us then.
It does. What does the shadow of hatred actually look like when it's hidden behind the face of absolute friendship?
To even begin to understand the motive here, you really have to appreciate the life that was taken. Najla Nimatullah Saeed wasn't just another student.
No, she was really the social and moral center of her community, a force for good in Kafr el Dawar.
A simple, kind-spirited young woman, yes, but she was also deeply involved in extensive charity work.
She was the person you went to if you needed help. And that earned her this universal love and, this is the crucial part, absolute trust from everyone around her.
And that trust went right into her job. She was the secretary at a major eye clinic. That's a position with, significant financial responsibility.
And the doctors trusted her completely to manage all the clinic's finances, the accounts. She was earning a good income, and she used it for her education and to fund all her charity work.
And here's where the financial details get so critical.
They do. She was so responsible. It wasn't just the clinic's money. She was organizing and managing the Jamiat.
The community savings club.
Exactly. Collecting and protecting that monthly income for her friends. And on top of that, she was saving her own money by investing in physical pieces of gold. She was a beacon of reliability.
And socially, she was the glue. All the other student employees in that mall, they sort of revolved around Najla.
Then, in 2017, the dynamic changes. Norhan Jamil enters the picture.
And from all accounts, Norhan was beautiful on the outside.
But inwardly, she was just plagued by this constant gnawing feeling of inadequacy. She watched Najla's success, the way people responded to her, and saw everything she felt she lacked.
So it wasn't simple jealousy.
No, it was this intense admiration that it soured into this possessive, all-consuming envy. Norhan saw Najla's life as a blueprint, something she felt she was entitled to.
And her first step was infiltration.
A very calculated infiltration. It started with a Facebook message. Simple. Let's be friends. We're the same age. We live nearby.
And Najla, being the open, trusting person she was, she accepted immediately. No hesitation.
But this is where it gets so chilling. For Najla, it was a new friendship. For Norhan, it was the start of a 5-year reconnaissance mission.
5 years! Just systematically mapping out all of Najla's vulnerabilities.
And let's be really clear about what she was mapping. She was obsessively focused on the financial flows.
Not just the clinic's income.
No, the specific irregular cash from the savings clubs, the physical gold investments. She knew the exact points of maximum vulnerability.
It's just heartbreaking because Najla's real friends, they saw the toxicity right away.
They did. They felt this strong discomfort, this suspicion about Norhan, and they repeatedly warned Najla to, keep her distance.
But she wouldn't hear it.
No. Her immense capacity for trust was really her undoing. She fiercely defended Norhan, calling her simple and kind, insisting she was like a sister.
She dismissed the warnings from her closest friends.
She did, believing that Norhan was the only one who truly understood her. And that's a classic tactic of manipulators, isn't it? Isolate your target. Convince them that the people who genuinely care are actually the enemy.
So the jealousy was festering for 5 years. What was the tipping point that moved it from just resentment to an actual lethal plan?
It seems like it was the accumulation of these really stark public contrasts.
Like what, specifically?
Well, people in general just love Najla. They were often cold to Norhan. The doctors showed Najla so much professional respect.
Yeah.
But it was the personal slights that were maybe the final straw.
For example?
When Najla was seriously ill, all her friends rallied around her. They visited daily, offered constant support.
And Norhan?
Compare that to Norhan's engagement party.
Only.
Najla even bothered to show up.
Wow.
So Norhan felt utterly isolated. And seeing Najla constantly surrounded by that warmth and loyalty, it turned her envy into this explosive hatred, this desperate need to equalize things.
And the opportunity to act came through a job offer.
It did. Norhan asked Najla for work. Then, when Najla had university exams, Norhan offered to work her shift for an entire month to help her study.
Which was actually priceless intelligence gathering.
Completely. It gave her total familiarity with the clinic layout, the hours, the movement of money. It normalized her being there. Her friends were, again, deeply disturbed by this. They saw it as another calculated move.
And by 2021, the intent was solid.
Absolutely. Norhan contacted a distant relative, a man named Mustafa. She laid out the whole plan for him.
The bounty.
The bounty. Cash from the savings clubs and charity, the gold jewelry, and Najla's 2 expensive mobile phones.
And Mustafa just agreed.
Instantly.
Huh.
Agreed to the robbery and the murder, demanding half the loot. And Norhan accepted without a moment's hesitation. For her, the money and the elimination of Najla were just 2 sides of the same coin.
Their first attempt, Plan A, was based on getting her out of there.
Right. The idea was that Norhan would sedate Najla with sleeping pills hidden in some juice.
And when she was unconscious.
Mustafa and his friend, who owned a tuk-tuk, would transport her to a remote, distant area. Kill her, steal everything, dump the body, and split the money 3 ways. Crude, but efficient.
But it didn't happen.
No. An hour before they were supposed to do it, the tuk-tuk owner backed out completely. Mustafa had to call it off.
And Norhan's reaction tells you everything.
It does. She was intensely frustrated, not relieved, not remorseful. She spent the next 2 months pressuring Mustafa relentlessly to come up with a new plan. The need to get rid of Najla had become a complete obsession.
So we get to the lethal pivot, Plan B.
Plan B. Mustafa finds a new accomplice, Muhammad, another distant relative. And he was only 17. He agreed to do it for a fixed sum of money, not a cut.
And the setting had to change. No transport.
Right. So the crime would now happen inside the clinic. Norhan's month working there made her entry and exit look totally normal.
And the accomplices?
Muhammad and Mustafa would come in disguised as patients, just there to make a reservation for a checkup.
On the day of the attack, Najla was alone. The doctor had canceled his appointments.
And Plan B started just like Plan A was supposed to. Norhan offered Najla the sedative-laced juice.
But this is where it all goes wrong for them.
It's a terrifying moment of failure. Najla she refused the juice, said she wasn't thirsty, couldn't drink anything right then. The plan, 5 years in the making, instantly falls apart.
Panic sets in.
Complete panic. Norhan immediately gets on WhatsApp, messages Mustafa with a new, improvised plan.
A new trigger.
And it was a trigger that was deeply manipulative. It relied entirely on Najla's compassion. Norhan would fake a painful fall or an injury inside the bathroom.
And Najla, being the kind sister, would rush in to help her.
And that is precisely what happened. Norhan faked the fall. Najla, rushing to her friend's side, runs into the bathroom.
And she walks right into the trap.
She doesn't realize until it's too late that Mustafa is waiting for her, hidden behind the door.
The moment she realized what was happening, she started to scream.
And the violence was immediate and just. Devastatingly personal. Mustafa silenced her by taking her hijab, that symbol of her faith and modesty, and using it to strangle her.
While Muhammad locked the clinic door from the inside.
The attack was just brutal. Mustafa slammed Najla's head repeatedly on the floor until she lost consciousness.
But the ultimate betrayal was still to come.
It was. While Najla was still struggling, begging Norhan for help, Norhan, the mastermind, walked into the kitchen, got a knife, came back, and stabbed Najla in the leg and the head to make sure she was dead,
Just a cold, calculated final step.
to seal the destruction she had planned for so long.
And once Najla was dead, the motive just snapped back to pure theft.
They eluded the scene, took the cash from the savings clubs, all the gold she'd invested in, her 2 expensive phones, everything.
Then they tried to cover their tracks.
Yeah, they turned their attention to the cover-up. They systematically went through and destroyed every single surveillance camera. They cut all the connecting wires to make sure there was no footage of them coming or going.
And the escape.
Norhan walked out first, acting with total composure, like nothing had happened. Mohammed and Mustafa left separately about half an hour later.
And it was shortly after that when her friends noticed the silence and made that gruesome discovery.
The investigation, it faced a real challenge with the destroyed cameras.
But they found a way around it.
They did. Investigators quickly cross-referenced every single person known to be in that mall during the time of the crime.
And they linked them to Najla's social circle.
And that's how the web led them right to the conspirators. They found that Mustafa and Mohammed were Norhan's distant relatives. And then the final, undeniable proof came from forensics.
Her fingerprints.
Norhan's fingerprints matched the ones at the scene.
So what does this all mean for them? The net closed in fast.
Very fast. The arrests of all 3, the vengeful mastermind and her 2 accomplices, happened before dawn the very next day.
The whole community must have been just shattered.
Completely. The shock wasn't just the murder itself. It was the knowledge that Najla's sister, the person she trusted above everyone else, was the architect of the entire thing.
And the legal outcome.
It was swift and severe, reflecting the brutality and the calculation involved, the death penalty execution for both Norhan and Mustafa.
And Mohammed, the 17-year-old.
Because of his age, he received 15 years in prison.
If we connect this to, the bigger picture of toxic relationships, this case is just such a stark lesson.
It's a lesson about the damage that extreme envy causes, and the incredible danger of ignoring the instincts of the people who truly care about you.
It shows how manipulation often works by creating isolation.
Exactly. Encouraging the victim to believe that the toxic person is their only true confidant. That 5-year time frame was essential for the plot's success. It allowed Norhan to gather all that intelligence and secure Najla's complete loyalty, even against all the warnings.
It just shows that sometimes the greatest threat comes from the person you trust the most.
The deepest, most calculated source of false trust.
A tragic story that started with a simple Facebook friend request.
And ended in a highly calculated, almost cinematic betrayal, driven purely by spite and greed.
Indeed. The core takeaway from this is just a chilling warning. Choose your friends carefully. And listen when the people who love you try to warn you.
Because what happens when those fundamental lines of trust are so completely erased by malice that a person is willing to track your life for half a decade just to destroy it? This is a case that really forces us to question how well we truly know the people closest to us.